Hey everyone, it's Maribel Blue with a new Maribel Blue Unfiltered. Today we are talking about highlights of the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, including the reunion part 1. And let me tell you, these women, well, some of them, not all of them, they are messy, messy, messy. These executives are going to have to revisit this casting because this show is nothing like what it used to be when it first started. So if you are new to my channel, welcome. Please do consider subscribing and hit that like button. And of course, leave your comments down below. And if you're not new, welcome back. I'm so glad you're here. I'm so grateful for you. I really, really, really appreciate all of your support on this channel. And as you may not know, I did start a coaching channel not too long ago. I left the link down below so that you can go ahead and click on that. And of course, subscribe to that channel. I talk a little bit about my personal experiences in relationships, communication, and just coaching in general about life when it comes to your personal goals, whatever it is that you're trying to achieve, even in business. And I am actually preparing a new blog, or I should say vlog in this case, about executive coaching. We see a lot of that when it comes to businesses. If you're filling out applications, sometimes they'll veer you off to a link where they want you to take a personality test and what all that means for you if you're looking for a new job. So I will be talking about that in my next video. So be sure to subscribe, hit the bell notification so that you will get notified when I upload a new video. Let's get started with the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills and all of their messes. I want to get into the highlights of Silence is Golden, the episode where it was the day after that Kathy Hilton allegedly had this meltdown. It has become a super big deal. And for me, I'm looking at it like she had a moment, moving on. It's not like Kanye West where he's having a moment almost every day, saying things that are just completely inappropriate without any information to back it up. And then you have stupid people that just follow along with this nonsense. And I really, really don't agree with it. I did talk about manifestation, using him as an example. You know what? Now he's just manifesting some bullshit that I can't relate to. I think that there are people who made this a bigger deal than what I believed it to be. Of course, starting with Lisa Rinna, the things that Lisa Rinna was saying about Kathy Hilton and how she couldn't repeat certain things or even be around her. To me, it was all bullshit. This is all Lisa Rinna acting everything out. Because now I'm looking at Lisa Rinna as a person who's just an actress all day, every day, probably in her home where there are no cameras watching. I don't know how her husband has been able to stay with her for all of this time. She would actually behave like that in private. I believe her behavior. I believe that she is self-centered, self-absorbed, and that she would do anything in her power to make sure that she is the one in front of the camera at all times. One of the things that Kathy Hilton had said in the reunion, in the previews, where they were talking about how she pushed Lisa Vanderpump out so that she could be basically in the forefront. I believe that. She didn't like Lisa Vanderpump for whatever reason that is. Well, let's list out the reason. Lisa Vanderpump is successful. She's owned several restaurants. She had that show Vanderpump Rules, which at some point I gave up on because I just couldn't stand half of the people that were on that show. That's just my own personal shit. And then she has her Vanderpump dogs. So believe me when I tell you, Lisa Vanderpump is not hurting because she's not on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Let's not forget what happened with Dorit and the dog and all of that BS that occurred with the text messages with Teddy right at the center of it. Yet she was able to survive being on another season. And Lord knows I cannot stand this woman. I really believe she is just as bad as Lisa Rinna. So if she ever came back to the show, I would not watch. Seriously, I would just turn off my television. I would turn off any future recordings because I don't even want to see a sneak peek if they ever never brought that woman back to the show. She is just like a snake. And we already are dealing with a snake right now. Getting back to Kathy Hilton and what happened. Whatever happened in that moment, I'm guessing that it wasn't just this fly by night meltdown. It could have been a series of things that have been occurring in her life that we're just not seeing on TV. At the end of the day, none of us that are vlogging and talking about what's going on TV and sharing our own thoughts and whatever sarcastic humor. I saw two bloggers, they're like making it a big deal. They're diagnosing. One guy was saying, oh, she's crazy. You don't know that. Like, you shouldn't be saying shit like that if you don't know for sure. Did you speak to her psychiatrist? No, probably not. So you should get one of your own and shut the fuck up. And that's the way I feel about it. I am a person, and I said this in my last video when I was talking about Married at First Sight. Yes, I poke fun and I say things. You don't see me diagnosing people. That's not my job. My job is share my thoughts, share different episodes, what had happened, what I thought of it, and your comments tell me what you thought of it. It's up for conversation. But anything that has to do with mental health, I'm very super sensitive about that. No person who is vlogging or blogging on a YouTube platform or any other platform, your own website, you should not be sitting there and diagnosing people. That's the reason why we have a Kanye West running around like a lunatic. And I can say that because it's living proof of everything that he's doing. Who would wear this? My point, exactly. And then the series of things that had happened afterward. Lisa Rinna feeling like she needed an apology from Kathy. Lisa Rinna feeling like she had to cut her visit short from Crystal's party because she was just too uncomfortable and didn't feel safe around Kathy. Really? Like, do we have to go that route? Now you feel like your life is in danger? I highly doubt it, Lisa Rinna. It's just getting worse and worse and worse. Now let's go back to an incident that happened when they were out in Aspen. Kathy was promoting her tequila and Lisa Rinna ordered something else. I can understand Kathy being upset that here she is promoting a drink and she expects everybody to drink it, and then somebody else goes and orders something completely different that's not hers. Yeah, I would be upset too. I've been invited to parties like back in the day when I was living in New York City. Somebody's like, oh yeah, come over because they're selling XYZ. And I'm like, well, I sell XYZ. Why are you having a party and inviting me to something that I already do and supporting somebody else? Yeah, that can be annoying because you're saying to yourself, wow, like you're supposed to be my friend and supporting me, and then you just do the same thing to somebody else and not even giving me some kind of credit. Yes, that is discerning because you feel like somebody's your friend and they're not giving you the same respect that they're basically giving to a stranger. But to say that Kathy Hilton had this meltdown because they weren't buying her drink is unrealistic. And for Lisa Rinna to single herself out and say she had this meltdown because of this, no, I don't believe that at all. And another thing that I had said in my last video, to think that somebody who has money won't have a meltdown of some sort because they have money is also unrealistic. Just because somebody has money and they don't have to worry about paying the bills or paying the mortgage or even how are you going to feed your children, because that is a real world thing, it doesn't mean that they're not experiencing any kind of instability. So I'm not with supporting anybody who is calling her crazy, who is diagnosing her. I'm just not with it. I just hope that whatever is going on with Kathy Hilton, she will overcome this and everything will be all right. And then when it came down to Kathy had came over, Lisa Rinna was there and Kathy had apologized to her, and Lisa Rinna's like, I'm not accepting your apology. I mean, she was just taking it to an extreme level where she was just being a complete ass. I have been in situations where there was a childhood friend that I had and I really didn't like her too much. She had a way of belittling me and making me look stupid at every turn. But, you know, we called each other friends. Of course, when I was able to get out of that, like once I got to high school and she decided to drop out of high school, it's almost like I had escaped her clutches of being mocked at. Years later, and I'm talking about years later, we're all grown up. We used to go to this party that they would have in the Bronx in the projects. And it would be like a cookout and everybody would get together. It's a yearly thing that they do. And one of my friends was like, oh, like she really wants to make peace with you. She's sorry about all of these things that happened. And you know what? I was not really accepting of her apology, but there was a reason for that. And it was the way I felt and how I was made to feel as I was growing up. And I really felt like her apology wasn't sincere. And that's just an example of why I didn't accept that apology. It wasn't like there was a follow up of restitution, if that makes any sense. Even though like I tried to be her friend, like we exchanged numbers, it was almost as if she wanted to absolve herself, but not really continue any type of friendship or any type of restitution. And when I say restitution, I don't mean like you need to kiss my ass. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is with restitution, make good on your apology. Even if it's not to me, you're paying it forward with somebody else or doing something good and kind for humanity, whatever that may be. It doesn't necessarily have to be for me, but seeing that there was some type of restitution made probably would have made me think, yeah, she's really sincere about her apology. So I accept it. But that never happened. So in that case, no, I was not accepting of the apology. And at some point, I really gave up in trying to be her friend or trying to stay connected in one form or another, because it just came down to, I don't give a fuck. In the case with Lisa Rinna and Kathy, why would you not accept her apology? She didn't do anything to you. And all of these claims about, I was scared and I'm so uncomfortable and I can't be around you. This is all Lisa Rinna trying to keep herself relevant on this show. Notice that when she first came on the show, she really wasn't like this. As a matter of fact, when she first came on and she was talking about losing her sister from drug addiction, when I think I can't remember what it was. I don't know if it was 28 or 29 years of sobriety. Yeah. I'm that long, clean and sober. I had tweeted at her that I was celebrating this anniversary, and she actually replied telling me congratulations. And I was like, wow, that's really impressive that she can recognize that, knowing that she lost a sibling to this addiction. I mean, it's very real. We see it all the time. People lose people all the time from drug addiction. So it was nice to get that response. But as time went on, that I noticed Erica came onto the show, it was like she was a completely different person. And I've said this before and I'll say it again. She will do anything to be like Erica. Why is it that Erica won't fight with her? Even if Lisa Rinna will sit back by the sidelines, not really defending Erica, she will always go back and tell her what everybody else was saying about her. She will always side with Erica no matter what. Look at all her reactions when she sits there nodding her head, or it's all fake. It's all phony. If somebody would tell me that Lisa Rinna really didn't know that the day that Erica drove her husband Tom to work and that she came back to move out and Lisa Rinna didn't know that, it would be bullshit in my book. I'm sure that Lisa Rinna knew everything that was going on. That's her best bud, and she's going to stand side by side with her. But I want to talk about Sutton and Erica's friendship. I'm very perplexed by it. First of all, Sutton, she is clumsy with her words. And I hate to put it that way because that was something that Diana Jenkins had said. But when you think about the conversation that she had with Kyle about, oh, well, nobody had a gun to my head and Dorit had a real gun to her head with the home invasion. That is an insensitive comment to make. Nobody would know if Dorit would live to see another day. Well, Dorit didn't know herself or her children. That is a very scary thing to happen. And then for her to say that, well, I have a lot of things going on, but I don't have a gun to my head. Very, very insensitive. The other, when the whole thing had exploded about Tom Girardi and this whole funneling money and buying extravagant gifts or whatever, instead of the money going to who it was supposed to go to, why would you say out loud, well, I contacted an attorney? And I even wrote in my notes, yeah, I know it's a television show and people are going to say things, or if they go back to the producers and the producers whisper in other people's people's ears just to get drama started. Because I'm sure they do that too. It's the same way with The Bachelor. I think it was just stupid on her part to mention that she had spoken with an attorney. And even though Erica and Sutton have tried to be friends, like we saw what happened last season when she was making threats at her, when Sutton felt like she was in danger and hired security because she didn't know. We just don't know what other people are capable of, especially if they feel that you're a threat of some sort. I mean, remember, these women are of a different caliber. They live in Beverly Hills. They have money up the wazoo. They have properties. They can go wherever it is that they want to go at the drop of a dime. So we don't know how they really live, only what we're seeing on TV. So I can understand Sutton's fear of this Mad Hatter Erica telling her, or what? We all saw that argument. And then she's pretending to be her friend, but then this and that. This whole back and forth. There aren't real friendships on this show. Kyle blew it. And that was another thing that I wanted to say that I completely forgot. Kyle blew it when she accused Lisa Rinna of being the one to expose everything in a newspaper. I really think that Lisa Vanderpump did not do that, because if she had a little bit of guilt or didn't want Kyle to suspect, she would have never thrown that woman out. She threw her out of her house. That is a really big thing to do to somebody. I don't think I ever threw anybody out of my house, but think about, you have established this friendship with somebody and that person is accusing you of doing something that you didn't do, and she told her to get out. You know, if I was accused of something that I didn't do, I had a friend who was accusing me of something, I don't think I would want to be their friend anymore. It's very, very sensitive when something happens, a situation happens beyond your control. The person tells you, oh, did it happen because of XYZ? And you're like taken aback. Did you just really say that to me? Because that's like, why would you think that? Nobody else thought that, but you thought that. So what does that say to me of what you think of me? Yeah, so I think that Lisa Vanderpump did the right thing by throwing Kyle out. And although they made it a big joke, to me, it wasn't funny at all. And finally, I want to talk about what happened with Garcelle. Now, unfortunately, I'm not on Twitter as much as I normally used to be, because Twitter has just gotten like really stupid. And it's just a cesspool of politics that I just don't want to see on a regular basis. I'm actually just tired of it. I'm tired of hearing people complain. Everybody does a really good job on complaining on social media or sitting behind their television, but nobody gets up and does anything about it. So if you want to whine, just whine on your private time. I just don't want any fucking part of it. But as far as what had happened, an incident happened where one of Garcelle's sons was being threatened on social media, threatened in ways that was really, really horrible. And who was the first one to come to the defense was Lisa Rinna. Now, I sat back when I was reading all of this and I said to myself, it reminded me of, like, you know, when somebody farts and then you smell something and they always say the one who smelt it dealt it, because if it's coming from you, right, and you're near it, well, you're going to smell it first before everybody else. So how convenient that Lisa Rinna was the first one to come to the defense of Garcelle. It does not surprise me if she was the one who purchased the bots. Now, I had seen stuff on social media, and when I say social media, I'm talking about Instagram. There is a account that I follow, and they are very, very, very informative. So long story short, in the first reunion, I haven't seen part 2, which I will be blogging about that, probably 2 and 3 together, just to have this one content for you. One of the things Garcelle had mentioned on the reunion was that she was doing an investigation to find out who purchased the bots to basically make all of these claims on social media and harass her son. Because at first, I guess they thought it was Diana Jenkins, who conveniently was not at the actual reunion because she wasn't feeling well, or maybe there was just too much dust in the air for her to go out and attend the reunion. So I'm not surprised that she is not physically there. But she also said that she was doing an investigation. Why? I don't know. It doesn't have any effect on her. I'm very confused with Diana Diana Jenkins. Before I finish with Garcelle, I'm confused with Diana in the sense that she is a person who comes from war. Her brother was murdered and she didn't have anything. It's kind of like the rags to riches story. And I could respect that. She is a charitable person. She loves helping people. But yet, when it came to the whole Sutton situation, like I said in my last video, she called her, oh, but you are the C word. And she's hysterical laughing. And I'm saying to myself, how are you this charitable, loving person who wants to have more children with her fiance, but yet you call another woman that name and you don't really know her that well? And then sitting there in past episodes when she was talking about, I was talking about my brother, Sutton talked about her father and what he did to himself. And then now all of a sudden, Sutton made it about herself. She didn't make it about herself. She was just basically sharing her experience that she could relate. Yeah, you know, something happened in our families that was beyond our control. But these women are too self-centered to see shit like that because they can only see themselves. So for Diana to say, oh, well, I'm launching an investigation too. Why? It has nothing to do with you. You think you're doing Garcelle a favor? I was confused with Garcelle saying, stop bothering me, stop doing things. I don't know if Diana is doing things intentionally so that Garcelle can look at her and say, oh, you know, this woman is looking out for me. I don't know what's going on with that. I would have to see for myself what is going on social media in order for me to make a guesstimation as to why Diana is hounding Garcelle and trying to be her best friend. As far as Garcelle is concerned and the things that is happening right now, she did launch an investigation. And on this social media account, there are screenshots of somebody by the name of Woke Stan that matches Rena's address. So basically, they are saying that Lisa Rinna, in essence, was the one who purchased the bots, which makes sense. Okay, follow me here. It would make sense because she would be the hero in this case of rescuing Garcelle's son and making it a point, leave the children out of it. This is a TV show, right? This is a TV show that you're trying to make yourself look good in. You're trying to use this platform to say to people out there, if you continue being a bitch with me, this is what's going to happen. This is not The Godfather. Like, what show is Lisa Rinna on thinking in her mind that she is just this ultra fabulous human being? Or did she still get stuck in a script of Days of Our Lives? I'm confused here. What is going on? This is not the reason why I started watching these shows in the first place. Granted, yes, it gives me content to do these blogs, but then it also gives me pause to say, really? Like, do we want friends like this? Even if we have lots of money, do we want our friends treating us like this? Do we want people constantly backstabbing us? Do we want to constantly be on guard and looking over our shoulder because we don't know who's going to screw us over because of whatever is going on in their head? That's all I got for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills in this highlights episode. And I will definitely be doing another blog on reunions 2 and 3. I'm not sure if there's a 4. 1 will only be able to tell what is going to happen next. I just know that it's going to be ugly. And I did see something about somebody throwing out Garcelle's book in the garbage because I saw her reaction to it. I'm telling you, nobody can't believe that money will buy you class. Class comes from you learning manners, learning common sense, learning how to be cordial. Money will not buy you class. Just look at Kanye West. And with all that being said, this is Maribel Blue signing off. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. Please hit the like button. Please comment below. I want to hear your thoughts. And as always, remember, be good to yourself, be good to each other, and most importantly, take care of you. Bye, everybody.